September 15th, 2020. Joe here at the Wake Up Channel. I want to do a really quick video because it seems like everywhere in the media we are hearing the same things coming from the left and even from the right as well. The Never Trumpers, the rhinos, and so forth. We are all attacking Trump, and we kind of have to ask ourselves a question. Are we really thinking about this whole pandemic rationally? First thing I want to really say is that the U.S. has probably one of the lowest mortality rates in the world when it comes to the coronavirus. I believe last time I looked here in September, I believe it was actually updated as of today. It's sitting around 2.8, which is right in the top 10%, maybe even 5% of the mortality rates. Now, it's always a bad thing that when people die, we know we have close to 200,000 deaths in this country. I'm not trying to downplay that or anything. But the fact is that we have over 6 million infections and less than 200,000 deaths. I think it's about 180 something deaths. Most of those deaths, obviously, according to the CDC, were directly induced, I guess, or directly caused by at least 3 comorbidities. Now, a lot of people have used this, the whole 6% thing, and kind of ran with it, which I don't really agree with, but it does give us a better understanding of what is causing this. So the Woodward tapes came out, and at first it was The Atlantic with the whole suckers and losers and all that kind of stuff. That was another hit piece, and this Woodward tapes obviously is another hit piece as well, because honestly it's just taking it to another extreme. Trump is being painted into a corner as if he's uncaring, that he intentionally misled the public. Let's make something clear, and the only reason for this video is to make this fact clear. The COVID-19 virus originated in China, and it was covered up by China. They were downplaying themselves. They were the original downplayer, and this was also helped and I guess preceded by the World Health Organization downplaying the entire thing as well. So this actually went all the way into almost February. Now, if we look back, Trump actually made this an emergency, declared an emergency at the end of January. Really, the question here is, what else could Trump have done in this instance? That is really the most rational question. Was it more lockdowns? Could it have been more lockdowns? I think that's really the only way of looking at this. If we went into lockdown earlier, would it have caused less death? Now, we look, and this was just, a general, just a general look here. Sorry. But this is from the Indian Express. Pandemic won't stop due to lockdown. It will continue to spread. This is from Detroit News. This one saying opinion states don't need new lockdowns to cut COVID spread. This was from June. We also have an article from AEI.org, Lockdowns Don't Work. It actually goes into a lot of the rationale behind the draconian lockdowns that a lot of the Democratic governors and mayors put into or instituted inside their cities, which includes completely unconstitutional lockdowns of not only gun stores, but also churches and so forth. And they still continue to do so. The fact of the matter, even Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, there is, I believe, a petition going around to actually either remove her from power or takes all of her emergency powers away from her, because it's obvious that a lot of these Democratic mayors have abused the Constitution. And I think that is really telling, because I think a lot of the legislation that's coming down, a lot of the ideas that are coming down regarding the COVID-19 pandemic is draconian, and it is unconstitutional. And it's leading us down a road where we don't have any type of privacy anymore. We are trading in privacy for security, and I think this is just one of the main themes that is going along with this pandemic. We know that so many whistleblowers have come forward, especially from China. The original whistleblower was from China, and they were, basically saying that this whole thing was originated from Wuhan lab. And it wasn't anything that was natural. Fact of the matter also is that a new whistleblower has come out on this whole coronavirus thing. It says here on Saturday, this is from Zero Hedge. On Saturday, reported that Dr. Li Mingyang, a Chinese virologist, MD, PhD, who fled the country, leaving her job at prestigious Hong Kong University, appeared last week on British television, where she claimed SARS-CoV-2, the virus which causes COVID-19, was created by Chinese scientists in a lab. This is actually the paper from zenodo.org. And this is the abstract here. The COVID-19 pandemic caused by the novel coronavirus COVID-2 had led to over 900,000 deaths worldwide, an unprecedented decimation of the global economy. Despite its tremendous impact, the origin of the SARS-CoV-2 has remained mysterious and controversial. The natural origin theory, which is being peddled a lot and widely accepted, lacks substantial support. The alternative theory that the virus has come from research laboratories is, however, strictly censored on peer-reviewed scientific journals. Nonetheless, COVID-2 shows biological characteristics that are inconsistent with naturally occurring zoonotic viruses. We have seen this over and over again. We have seen doctors come over talking about the gain of function, research that has been done for a decade or more that was actually transferred from the U.S. over to the Chinese lab in Wuhan. We know that it has been funded partly by, or through Fauci. Now, Fauci actually came out and said that Trump has done everything possible that he can see that he should have done with this virus. Putting everything into a lockdown, that's really what the question is, and that's really the question I had with all of this stuff. Trump could have done something better. What exactly could he have done better? We don't hear an answer about that. More contract tracing, more strenuous lockdowns, more unconstitutional, mandatory, draconian legislation coming down. We have already seen enough of that, and it has caused a rift in our society, not just with the BLM protest and so forth, but a lot of the protest has nothing to do, and this is my own personal opinion, but the lockdowns, the loss of jobs, the loss of our economy, and the loss of upward movement across the board, and as well as we see a lot of the big corporations like Amazon and Walmart and all these other places, they have remained open, obviously, so they can become richer and richer. I don't have a problem with that, but a lot of people, when they're not able to work and provide for their families, when Congress is not doing their job, as they have yet to do, one stimulus bill so far, they have yet to agree on anything at this point. And that is, if that's one thing that has made me really angry, it's that. But we keep forgetting, very conveniently, as much as we forget about 9/11 and everything that went with 9/11, this is just another opportunity to take away our God-given rights. This is a different country, Joe Biden. This is a different country. And I speak to all the Democrats out there and liberals, even people that are on the fence. This is a different country. We live not in a democracy, but we live in a constitutional republic made of 50 autonomous states. Trump does not act like a dictator, even though you want to say he is. It's really funny, though. Most people have been calling him a dictator, but he has been the furthest of a dictator. If you want to see dictatorial power, please go to California or New York. Please talk to Gavin Newsom or any of the other governors or mayors of these democratically controlled or Democrat-controlled areas. Talk to the people of the dead who died in New York in the nursing homes. See if they agree with you. The fact of the matter is that Trump did a lot that he is not getting credit for. He shut down the travel. He put in travel restrictions from China. Of course, he was called xenophobic because of that, and that was directly from Joe Biden. He did a lot of stuff, especially in the first few months of this. He just does not get credit for that. We completely forget about all these things. So what really should have been done? We also, like I said before, the World Health Organization was covering up for China in the first month of this whole thing. By the time they actually got on board with actually stopping it and not covering for China, it had already reached the shores of the United States. We already saw the first case, I believe, on January, I believe it was 15th or 13th here in the United States. But by then it was already here. It was already spreading. The fact of the matter is that this coronavirus was constructed in a lab. There has been plenty of research on this. It was constructed in a lab, and it was made to infect as many people as possible. Not so much kill as many people as possible, but infect as many people as possible. Those who are healthy, those who have high levels of vitamin D, who have a healthy immune system, or under the age, I believe, 75, usually don't have a problem with this virus. A vast majority of people that this virus affects are people who have 3 or more comorbidities, or who are over the age of 80 years old, 75 or 80 years old. And we have seen that. Our mortality rate is 2.85 or 2.89%, the last I looked. And it's actually in the one of the lowest percentiles for the mortality rate across the board. Of course, this is not advertised at all in the media. They don't want you to know these types of things because it does make Trump look good. But we can look at that 200,000, 180,000 death figure and we can be horrified. Well, we have to realize that we live in a country of almost 330 million people. And I'm not even sure if that figure is right. It's more like 350 million people. Our population just keeps exploding. So we have 65 times the people that live in Finland. But Finland has, I believe, a 6.5 mortality rate. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about all of the other European countries which have 2 to 3 times the mortality rate of the United States. We keep forgetting about all of the money that was spent by the Trump administration to help control this virus. We keep forgetting that Fauci said that masks don't work. And we have conveniently forgot that Fauci has recently said that Trump has done a great job. There's nothing more that he could have really done. And they continue to do so. So what do the people want? Do they want just further lockdowns? Do they want people to be tested all of the time?
Talk to me, doctor. How's she doing?
She's not infected.
This is the road that we are going down, the whole contract tracing, because that's all that's left at this point. The lockdowns simply don't work. Draconian lockdowns don't work. We're not even sure if masks even work, really. This is a very small virus, and we do not have access to the types of masks that block 100% of everything. Most doctors don't even have access to that. We certainly don't. It's not like something you can buy on Amazon. But we can see that lockdowns don't work. There's been plenty of studies on this. But the whole thing is, where do we go from here? They are really preparing the United States for contract tracing and biomarkers and so forth. This is Fourth Amendment territory, nightmare territory, really, because it is completely against the Constitution. Most everything that has happened in this pandemic has been anti-Constitution. But it's okay because we are trading safety for security. It's from CNET, the COVID-19 contracting tracing apps we were promised are finally here. And they are going all over the world, including Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, so forth. We know that Singapore is actually doing something here. This is from Eyewitness News, Chicago. City of Chicago looking to start hiring 500 COVID-19 contract tracers right away, full part-time positions available. So we're going to have more government employees going around and harassing people, trying to trace people, going door to door, and then eventually we will have not only the apps, we'll also have the biomarkers as well, which will completely destroy the Fourth Amendment. We will have no privacy anymore. So what could have Trump done? in the first month of this virus, while he was being lied to by the World Health Organization, by the CDC, by China? Was he just supposed to completely lock down everything? We know that lockdowns cause so much more, and they cause so much more harm. That is why he said that the cure would be worse than the actual virus. And this is true. We have seen an uptick in suicides. We have not only seen people starve, but we've seen people lash out on their family members, an uptick in violence and riots and so forth. And it's going to continue on and on the more they continue this charade. We will not be able to get past this pandemic without coming to our senses and understanding that, yes, we need to protect the most vulnerable around us, but screeching to a halt every 5 minutes is not going to solve anything. We know that lockdowns and draconian measures and restrictions simply do not work. They have never worked in history, and they won't work now. But the problem is that we keep blaming the wrong person. We are not thinking rationally anymore. And the less rational we think going into the elections, we will come away with a less than desirable result. We all know that we will probably not know who the next president is going to be until probably December or January at best. So buckle up. It's going to get a lot worse out there. Stop falling for the media crap and start thinking for yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.